Hey everybody, it's Francis, market sniper, the crypto sniper, sitting on a lovely green hill, Greenwich, middle upper class area, the GMT line, the 0% line for the world, the east and the western hemispheres accordingly. Astronomy, the first real British astronomers sat on this hill. Probably just see it behind me. I'm going to aim into the sun just by the other side of the sun there as those people are walking by. All very dreamy, late evening summer day in the UK. We've got the river, the Canary Wharf, and the City of London as views. I've actually posted many YouTubes off here, but I'm going to take you to a darker place. Why not? Why not? Why not be that guy? I'm going to take you to a darker place. So Simon Black, who does a lot of interesting articles, writes really nicely. I'm going to paraphrase his article and some of the things he's highlighting, and he's just highlighting data that's already out there. This is going to be about United States pensions, the pensions in United States, the social pensions that provided by government. The trustees of the social pensions for the United States have written to the government, and note this hasn't been covered in your media outlets at any level, and stated alarmingly but seemingly not of any interest to anybody that the US is 46 trillion, let's just say that again, 46 trillion underfunded on its obligations on social pensions to the people that are expecting to receive pensions from the government. Now, I want everyone to understand what a trillion is a little bit, because there's 46 of them we're talking about here. So if you were to count to 1 million, one for every second that you have, it will take you 12.5 days to count to 1 million, non-stop, day and night, no meals, no sleep. 12.5 days. Physically, I would describe that as probably highly improbable and impossible virtually. If you were to count to 1 billion, that's with a B, that's going to take you 32.5 years. 32.5 years, day and night, no meals, no bodily functions, no anything. Every second you are counting a number. That will be 1 billion. A trillion will be 32,000 plus years. Now think about how far in human history of existence a single trillion would take you just to count to 1 trillion. That's getting $1 every second. You would need 32,000. Now multiply that by 46. Hopefully this helps you understand what 46 trillion is and how far the US is behind on that. So let's talk a little bit more about that number. A couple of assumptions were made by this rather government-friendly panel. I'll explain why I see it as government-friendly. One of them is fertility rates. You see, more people means more people coming into the system, more demand, more tax revenue for the government. In other words, more people that will be providing money to pay for those pensions. Assumption, a very bold 2.2. Problem, America simply aren't getting 2.2 births at all, well below, and haven't for a while. Okay, problem number one. Problem number two, the assumed growth on the money, 3.2% real. That means 3.2% over the inflation rate that is currently in the market. Now, I don't know how you guys have been watching what's going on, but the current interest rates are virtually zero, and the inflation rate is positive. In other words, the rates that you would need to be 3.2 over the inflationary rate that exists, which we grossly understate because of re-measuring the basket, restating, re-justifying the basket, further to which putting a better iPhone as actually a depreciation in cost because it has more features than the previous model. Every skullduggery and trick is worked into your calculation of your inflation rate. The growth rate, 3.2% real. We haven't been there in ages. So that 46 trillion should be a whole bunch bigger because of the inflation rates, the real growth required in the assumptions provided by these trustees, and the growth rates. that is just 2 points of the assumptions that have been introduced that they are wildly overestimating, and over the last 20 years have continued to be at least 20% out in favor of the government, always overstating what they will hope to get. So the assumptions are wildly bullish in a manner to most reduce the number that comes. So the 46 trillion is a undershoot of epic scale and proportions. So what do we do? What do we do? Well, we understand that this problem isn't just restricted to the United States. The Boston University group has estimated that it's substantially higher, and has got a number 67% bigger. 67% bigger on current their rather independent takes of what is likely in terms of growth rates on money. Most of that is determined by the government debt, bond interest rates that are being paid, which are hopelessly low with a stubbornly high inflation, despite the hoodwinking of our basket of goods on an ongoing basis. So there's a crisis coming, gentlemen. There's a crisis coming, not just in those pensions, but in the municipality pensions. On a similar scale, all the same tricks are being pulled in a microcosm on every single state's smaller pensions. And in case you're thinking, but that's America, I'm in the UK, I'm in South Africa, I'm in Europe, all the same things are occurring to varying degrees in all the major nations. In other words, the West is undershooting demographically on population. There is a huge issue on pensions. It's an actuarial minefield that has been flagged since the early 70s and has continued to be flagged by anybody who understands basic pension schemes, returns, population demographics, umpteen times over. How does this all end? Well, there's only one way, gentlemen. You either believe it's going to be paid or you don't. Now, the mathematics and the assumptions tell me it's a fool to back the government and their trustees. In other words, there's a full-scale renege, or there will be a full-scale reset in our economy that will make these products almost obsolete, and they will be replaced with far lesser value, or a new deal. A new deal, kind of like post the Depression. A new deal where we just fix a nasty mess and everyone just gets bumped. Well, my view is the following. If you're relying on pensions, you're in a deep dark place. If you're relying on private pension provision, you're in a deep dark place. So don't think, oh, I'm okay, I don't have a 401k or a government pension. I've got a policy with Standard Life or Fidelity for my pensions, or whatever the case may be. They are all undershooting. They are all doing poorly. Your longevity as a pensioner is increasing. The birth rates of the future generations where those are relied upon, such as in the government pensions, are decreasing. The overall take, and demographics clearly drives growth. Have no illusion about that. If you need, just have a look and understand the baby boomer situation. So what do? It's time to become self-directed about your personal financial management affairs, and to recognize the mother of all bombs will be going off. And you can decide, are you going to be taken by surprise? Is it going to be a black swan event for you? Or are you going to be prepared? Are you managing your financial affairs personally? Are you looking after the skill sets you need to be successful? Well, I've just had a musician who's taken an 8 grand amount to a 60 grand amount within the space of 6 weeks through trading the crypto currencies using our mindset, our methodology, and one of the most expansionary markets that are in existence. If you aren't growing your pot, you are part of the list that is going to get blown up. If you aren't taking your pot off grid and making sure you're preserving your privacy, your wealth building capability, you will be part of the 91% that gets blown up and hit by another black swan event, note the inverted commas, as the real collapse that will make 2008-09 look absolutely rudimentary. Get involved with managing and building your own wealth. Do it fast now. There is a transfer in wealth between the baby boomer and the old school generation towards the new school generation. The boomers have had it all their own way. They've had many bubbles to ride up, whether it be housing, .com, equity, etc. There's going to be a transfer in wealth, and that's from those that are early to the crypto space, as recipients from the guys that are late to arrive. By the time it's late, the cryptos will be far more stable and representing normal currencies. What are you going to be? Get in touch, contact me either on the Contact Us link to find out how you can learn more with our Trader Metamorphosis program, or alternatively email support@themarketsniper for more information. This is Francis. I'm calling you out. Where are you on the grid? Are you going to be part of the 91% that goes down? Or are you going to be sitting on Greenwich Hill, picnicking on a Sunday evening with your future secured, living in a nice affluent area, traveling the world, and not a worry in the world, while everyone else runs around like headless chickens? Don't get caught out. This will not be a black swan event. Okay, that's my call to arms. I hope it reaches out to you, and I hope you take the message, and I look forward to hearing from you and helping support you towards transitioning to where you can become a lifestyle trader and you're set up for good to ride out whatever macroeconomic travails come your way. This is Francis checking out.